Wait.
I tell my patients
No.
to eat butter.
Wait.
It's not a heart attack in a wrapper.
Now, if we are anything alike, you just watched that clip with very wide eyes, clutched your chest, and now you feel extremely anxious about your own health. But whichever category you fall into, I'm gonna change your mind about butter and give you insights and perspectives that you didn't even think you needed or even thought about. Butter, good or bad, healthy or unhealthy. Let's go. True knowledge is power. Let's take a deep dive and dig up some facts. The reason we're all here today is to examine how butter is perceived, how it came to be this way, and most importantly, with all of the research and empirical data collected over decades to answer this question: is butter good or bad for your health? Is butter good or bad for your health? But what is butter though? Just a block or container of soft, yellow substance? Butter is actually the byproduct of churning the cream from cow's milk. It's made up of fat, water, and inorganic salts. Now, most of us grew up giving butter a bad rap because we learned early on that butter is basically animal fat, and who wants to eat that? We're taught that eating butter will eventually lead to clogged arteries and subsequently death. But wait, let's go back to the beginning and do some research of our own. In the 1960s, print media was it, and headlines and magazine covers carried a lot of sway. So when important people were touting new information, you took notice. Enter Ancel Keys on this January 13th, 1961 cover of Time magazine. I mean, just look at that stare. He's already disappointed in you. How do you not pay attention to what he has to say? Now, a lot is happening around this time. The world and the way we do things is changing at a rapid pace. The war is over and we've learned how to process and package foods for easier and quicker consumption. Fast food joints are on the rise, and the US Surgeon General released damning reports that showed how smoking was bad for your long-term health. But we couldn't escape one mysterious phenomenon that was seen as a common thing: heart attacks. We knew that this condition was caused by blocked arteries, but no one could truly pinpoint what exactly was happening. What was it that was restricting blood flow to the heart? Now, we did have a clue, as studies showed that sedentary and middle-aged men mostly suffered from heart attacks. And when the most important middle-aged man in the world experienced this, it got everyone's attention. In 1955, years before the Ancel Keys study, the President of the United States suffered a non-fatal heart attack, and this kicked off the research-based study to find out what was going on. I mean, come on, when the president is afflicted, it's officially a health crisis. At the end of the study, fat in our diets was considered to be the main culprit, and saturated fat in particular was demonized. That meant if you were serious about your health, you needed to cut out red meat, eggs, dairy products, and basically everything in this portion of the pyramid. Okay, so here it goes. In this article, Key stated that we eat way too much fat, and foods like red meat, milk, butter, and ice cream all increase blood cholesterol, which increases your chances for heart disease and heart attacks. Ironically enough, no studies were conducted to research the effects of smoking, stress, and physical inactivity on the body and their correlation with heart disease. But like they say, hindsight is 20/20. Now, this is where the information made its way to our parents and into our psyche is a bit skewed. People from different parts of the world have different diets, mostly based on culture and the resources that they have around them. For example, the Mediterranean diet that the Greeks partake of is considered to be one of the healthiest worldwide. It consists of mainly vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, bread, pasta, rice, and extra virgin olive oil, nuts and seeds, dairy, preferably low fat, herbs and spices, poultry, seafood, fish, eggs, potatoes, and legumes, you name it. For those that do decide to take a cheat day, sugar-sweetened beverages, added sugars, processed meat, and red meat are consumed sparingly. While on the other hand, the soul food diet generally consists of a variety of ingredients including beans, peas, greens such as collards, cabbages, and turnip greens, sweet potatoes, rice, corn or cornmeal, pork, fish, and chicken. Okra and watermelon are highly nutritious foods that are also common in this cuisine. Oh my god, I'm hungry right now. Now guys, this is just a broad overview of these diets, so please do not come for me in the comments because I know you guys you let me have it. But hey, guess what? I'm just human, and personally, I need you to cut me some slack, okay? Okay, so based off what you think you know and judging by these foods, which one would you say is the healthier diet? No matter your answer, you cannot go based off of an observation. create an hypothesis, and call it a conclusive study. You have to go deeper than that. But this is what Keyes did in his initial study when he visited Italy in the 1950s. When his study was mocked by other medical professionals and journals, he went hard at it trying to prove that his study was indeed legitimate by conducting the 7-country study, which was the first major study to investigate diet and lifestyle along with other risk factors for cardiovascular disease across contrasting countries and cultures over an extended period of time. It was again mocked for being inconclusive, but not before Keyes made it to the cover of Time magazine, and by that time, the only thing that mattered was getting healthier. And how did he propose you do that? Cut saturated fats from your diet. One food high in saturated fat happened to be what? Butter. But here is where we reach the other fork in the road. All saturated fats are equal, but some are more equal than others? Finally, reading Animal Farm in high school has come in handy. Way to go, secondary education. Look at this stick of butter, and now take a look at this one. They both come from cows, so what's the difference? Well, let's make this quick and simple. This butter comes from grass-fed cows, which is their natural diet. They graze, produce milk, and we use it to make butter. While this butter comes from cows that were fed corn, grain, or other types of feed. Now in comparison, these same cows, separated by a hypothetical fence, eating different foods match up like this. I mean, come on, it's the same butter, right? So the big question is, to eat butter or not to eat butter? And while everyone has their own decision to make, I for certain will not be cutting butter out of my diet, as fat is an essential part of your diet, which is why it's even in the food pyramid. The decision now is what kinds and quality of fat you should be consuming for normal, healthy living, and how much of it to eat within a particular time frame. I've always been a proponent of moderation. The human body is the most complex computer on the planet, and it's designed to adapt and keep moving. So don't punish yourself, just be responsible and have some self-control. As a former semi-professional athlete, I struggled with high cholesterol while competing full-time, and it got even worse after I retired. I changed my diet and my exercise routine as my doctor asked me to, but the change in my cholesterol is minimal. Oh yeah, I never answered that question posed at the beginning of the video. So what's the bottom line? Is butter, which contains high concentrations of saturated fat, good or bad for you? Well, you can look at these case studies and make that determination for yourself, but come a little closer. Just a little bit closer, let me share a secret with you. It turns out that high saturated fats might not be the biggest offender, but this is.